Hello my friends, and welcome back to our continued blind Let's Play Ace Attorney Apollo Justice Dual Destinies. My name is the FlightlessBird, this is your service giver channel, and today we start episode 5, Turnabout for Tomorrow, the final episode in Dual Destinies. Let's do this. I hope you all having a wonderful, fantastic day today. Episode 5, Turnabout for Tomorrow. No one can escape their past. Okay, that's a very traumatized Athena Sykes. Are we watching Dexter? Although she's a little bit older than Dexter was. The sins we've committed and the sadness we've caused. That's Blackquill. But did Blackquill murder Athena's parents? No matter how far we run, our past remains. As ever present as the moon in the sky. This is the most violent opening in Ace Attorney history. It looms in wait for the day when we are forced to face it. But only in doing so can we truly make peace and move on in hope towards tomorrow. December 20th, 1:23 p.m. Write Anything Agency. They took Athena from the courtroom straight to the station. She is probably being questioned at this very moment. All the dots. After this past year, I took it for granted that these two would always be here. But now, Apollo has gone off on his own to seek his own truth. And my pursuit of the truth only ended up with Athena becoming the new suspect. Some boss I turned out to be. It's even quieter in here than usual. Yeah. It seems so empty, too. I just don't get it, Daddy. All of your reasoning during the trial seemed perfectly solid. Yeah, and I still believe it was. At least, based on what we know. But now, Athena's the one who's being accused. During the trial for the bombing and murder that occurred at the Cosmos Space Center, the letter used by the real culprit was found. This letter proved the defendant, Solomon Starbuck, innocent. But Athena's prints were found on it instead. And she was subsequently arrested for the murder. But Athena could have done it. It just doesn't make any sense. No, none of it does. I've been racking my brain, but I just can't figure it out. Arg, where is the flaw in my reasoning? What have I got wrong in this case? You know, Daddy, if Athena was here, she wouldn't just be sitting around thinking. She'd be out there doing something. You are going to defend Athena, right, Daddy? Of course I will. And thanks, Trucy. I needed that push. Trucy's right. The trial is tomorrow. There's no time to waste. If I'm going to prove Athena's innocence, I'd better get out there and find some evidence. Off we go then, on a hunt for evidence to prove Athena's innocence. Great. But before we go, I'd better tidy up the evidence I have on hand. Unnecessary evidence left at the office. So weird to have evidence at the start of a case. Athena is probably still in the middle of being questioned. So Trucy's right. The thing to start with is talking to people at the Space Center. I still can't believe Apollo really left us. It was so sudden. Maybe he got tired of being my assistant for my new magic tricks? I don't think it's your fault, Trucy. But I made him clean the toilet a lot. And I made him go bring in the newspaper. It was my fault. I just know it. Oh, Apollo. I really don't think it was your fault, Trucy. I didn't realize Apollo was wearing so many hats around here either. Cleaning toilets. Any ideas? How could they suspect Athena? It's just ridiculous. It must be some kind of conspiracy. Conspiracy, huh? Well, it certainly is some kind of mistake, that's for sure. First of all, we had to bust Athena out of the detention center. Then we had to chase down the people who framed her. We'll stick around the world from Kiev to Carolina, where they're first hot on the trails. I'm not sure if it's Kiev or Kiev. I have no idea. I'm sorry if I offend anyone with pronunciation. I honestly don't know. Isn't that exactly the same as the plot of the movie you watched the other day? So what evidence do we have? Oh my gosh, we have a lot. The lighter, our statement, Hope capsule, pamphlet, security camera video, launchpad 1 door lock, the knife, the diagram, the autopsy report. December 20th, Cosmos Space Center. Entrance. Director Cosmos, do you have a moment? Hey! Galactic shooter! Full speed ahead! Okay, I don't think that's a minute. Nope. Director! He scooted away. Darn it. His expression changed the instant he saw you, Daddy. Yeah, well, I dragged his name through the mud pretty good at the trial earlier today. Okay, let's go somewhere else then. December 20th, Cosmos Space Center. Boarding lounge. We were here only yesterday. Oh, hey. Mr. Starbuck, you've been released, huh? Yep, and I came straight here. It's all thanks to you and your team, Mr. Wright. You've given me a second chance to fly into space again. I can't thank you enough. Except... What's wrong? I thought he'd be happy to be acquitted. Well, as I was coming out of the detention center, I saw Miss Sykes. You saw Athena? I was at a loss for words. I didn't know what to say to the poor girl. And then, you know what? She flashed a peace sign at me. Congratulations on your acquittal, she said. Now you can go back into space someday. Yeah, that sounds like Athena. I could just picture it. But I saw her eyes. They were red, swollen from crying. She's got to be suffering. She must be so worried. And yet she went out of her way to be nice to me and gave me that big smile. She held back her own tears so she could give someone else a smile. That's so Athena. There's no question about it. The girl is innocent. Please, Mr. Wright, you have to make sure she goes free. And then, well, they can put me in prison instead. I don't mind. We can't have that either, Mr. Starbuck. Don't worry, Mr. Starbuck. I'm going to give her the very best defense I can. I promise to get her acquitted. Just like I did for you. I know it should be alright with you in here in her corner. I know you'll never give up on her. Apollo has a fine boss to look up to. About the murder. Still can't believe Launchpad 1 was switched to the Space Museum. What could have made Director Cosmos do such a thing? I had the foggiest idea. So there never was going to be a launch that day. Not from the very beginning. I wonder if Clay knew. I imagine he must have. Surely he would have noticed when he went to board the rocket. It's pathetic to think I was the only one who got taken in. I guess it's about how far it goes when you're worth less than space debris. Is he going to be alright, Daddy? His expression looks as dark as a black hole. Well, that's just how he is. The murderer. Mr. Starbuck, do you remember anything about the murderer? Not really. I only saw a shadowy figure in the dark, after all. Yeah, I guess that was a little bit too much to hope for. Hey, I heard something from the police, though. They said they never did find a 10 caliber gun down that trash chute. Just as I thought, the culprit must have carried it away from them when they escaped. So was the person you saw holding a gun Mr. Starbuck? I couldn't really tell. But it wasn't Athena, right? Could you tell if that person was male or female, tall or short? I can't even tell you that much. Man, I'm useless. When the culprit opened the door and some light came in, should have been able to see. The door. Ah, yes. As I recall, they opened this door here as they made their escape. The door to Launchpad 1, right? Yeah. Yeah, except right now, that door leads to the Space Museum. You mean the Launchpad and the Space Museum are switched right now? Well, yeah. Trying to investigate the theory that you came up with in court. So they're recreating the conditions, huh? I'd like to see beyond that door right now. Mr. Starbuck, could you open the door for us? Sure. Let me just have my print scanned right about here. Switching the launch pads. Do launch pads get switched back and forth a lot? Well, back when the Space Museum was Launchpad 2, they used to switch the pads around at times. But these days, Launchpad 2 is only used as a tourist attraction, right? Right, because quite frankly, the Space Center needs some money. I hear you. Times sure are tough. Daddy, let's go check out what's beyond the door. Sure, let's go. Hey, why don't I come along? I can show you around. Investigating. That was fast. We didn't go into the menu. Huh, I wonder what these dead leaves are doing here. Maybe they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes? There are lots of trees around the Space Center. She's right. It's a modern state-of-the-art building, but it's surrounded by trees. But I don't know if they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes. Wouldn't they look more crushed up? These don't look like they've been stepped on. Maybe there's some kind of secret hatch in the corridor, and they came from that way, you know? Not everything is set up like a magician's stage, you know? So this is another one of those devices for opening the door, huh? Yep, this one doesn't require fingerprint verification. You just hit the button and open sesame. So when you and Clay went through here, you didn't need to show your prints either? That's right, Tracy. Just like how the culprit didn't need to scan their prints. When they escaped out of the Space Museum corridor into Boarding Lounge 2. Launchpad 1 door lock, updating the court record. The biometric door lock. Print authentication is required from the launchpad side. Well, I don't see anything else that jumps out at me. And I imagine the corridor is built exactly like the Launchpad 1 corridor. Anything else? Is that evidence, maybe? Do you know anything about this? Oh, okay. So, we've already probably gone through all this. Yeah, we've probably already gone through all this, so... Yeah, let's move on, shall we? Boarding lounge? We're in the boarding lounge. December 20th, Cosmos Space Center. Entrance. Curse the village, you solid, my good nom. For vast cost and full speed, hey. Director Cosmos, wait. And he's gone. I'll handle this, Daddy. Take that. The mobility system has been compromised. Tracy's knife throw was a direct hit to one of his tires. Wow, that was really good, Tracy. And the streak continues. Maybe I should have kept a closer eye on which tricks she's been practicing. Become quite a knife thrower. My dear old battleship. We fought many a skirmish together. It's been an honor. Daddy, he's going to blow that thing up. Nah. I bet all that button will do is make it go haywire again. Very well. I surrender. As a prisoner of war, I expect ye to be treated honorably. Switching the launch pads. Director Cosmos, when you were talking in court about switching the launch pads, you used your right to remain silent about the reason as to why. I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the two launch pads to begin with. Please, I can't. I exercise me right to remain silent. But I will say, my hands were tied. I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in that blast. The center of the cosmos is shrouded in mystery, but I don't have any secrets left. Now that my battleship has been destroyed, And I've been taken prisoner. Oh. Hello. No secrets left, huh? I beg to differ. Looks like I'll have to undo his cyclops if I want to get to the bottom of this.
Take that!
Wonder if I need to get more evidence first. Behind the switching of launch pads. I want you to tell me everything you're hiding about the switching of the two launch pads. I refuse. You can't make me. I can hold out longer than anyone. I hope I never get like this when I'm old. Now let's see, where to start. This is how you explain your motive for switching launch pads. You did it. To save the astronauts? Thanks to your switching launch pads, the astronauts escaped injury from the blast. Instead, they safely boarded the museum's rocket, far from the actual explosion. My astronauts were willing to go out on an authentic adventure in space. How do you propose I had them board a fake rocket without them noticing? I agree you couldn't have done it without help. For one, they would have figured it out the instant they stepped into the Space Museum. You figured you could fool Mr. Starbuck once you've been drugged with his medication, but without the help of this person, it would have been impossible to pull your plan off.
Take that!
That seems obvious. You must have gotten Mr. Terran to help you. Egg! He stole the tranquilizers from his mentor's locker and slipped them to him. And then, with Starbuck in a daze, they boarded the replica rocket in the museum. Arg! Someone please help these poor prisoner. How was he able to spin around like that? If you really want to save the astronauts' lives, shouldn't you have just called off the launch? If I could have done that, do you think I would have gone to all that trouble? I guess you must have had a compelling reason why you couldn't call it off. But how did you know how to switch the pads in advance of the bombing incident? Well, that's because I was warned in advance. Once I received that warning, this was my duty to ensure my astronaut safety. But it was just a warning. Could even have been a prank. Why did you believe it so completely? But because I went to one of those mediums that everyone's talking about these days. Oh, I didn't realize channeling was back in vogue. Besides, I thought it was you yourself that got the warning via telephone. Yes, that's right. The bomber contacted me personally. My battleship is equipped with a special advanced communication system, you see. AKA a regular old telephone. It's been a while, planning another launch. I see you haven't learned. I'll never forget the terror I felt when I received that call. The bomber said it's been a while? And that was enough to make you take the threat seriously? Perhaps Director Cosmos took the threat so seriously because the space owner had been involved in a bombing once before? Maybe. The culprit in the current case is the same person who was involved in this incident. The Hat One Miracle? The Hat One Miracle. The epic story of survival. People across the nation now know it as a heroic tale of bravery. But in truth, it was an act of sabotage perpetrated by a current killer, wasn't it? Very few people knew about the previous plot, so when the killer said it's been a while, you knew beyond a shadow of doubt that the danger was real and it wasn't a prank. Grog! Didn't anyone ever tell you to go easy on an ex-serious man? Yes. They had one mere kill. Was really a desperate battle against an act of sabotage. I even lost the life of one of my staff members in the fight. Sabotage? Murder? So this is the ugly truth behind the one miracle. I let my guard down. I saw the saboteur had been caught, and that the case was closed. Huh. Wait a minute. The murder at the Space Center 7 years ago. This must be the person Director Cosmos thought was the culprit. Solomon? Ara? Claire was too young.
Take that!
Monsieur Lawyer, you must be very tired. Why don't you take a nap in one of our zero-gravity beds? I guess I picked the wrong person. Although I do like the sound of a zero-G nap right about now. But that will have to wait. Still have a psych lock left to break. So in the previous games, you had a health bar, so you only had a certain amount of time to do this.
Take that!
Huh. What else could it be? She would have only been 20.
Take that!
Oh! I don't know how to read. Convicted of the murder at the Space Center 7 years ago. He's chasing a phantom he saw back then. I don't know how to read. So basically, he was blamed for the murder that he didn't commit. Or he blamed someone else for committing it, but yet he was tried and found guilty.
Take that!
Simon Blackquill, the murder suspect in a case that happened here 7 years ago. The place and time of the two incidents, the murder and the sabotage, were the same. So you thought he committed both crimes. But while Prosecutor Blackquill was around bars, you got another threatening phone call. If the culprit this time is the same as 7 years ago, then it isn't Simon Blackquill. Realizing that, he was shaken. It meant that the true culprit's been running free all this time. Yank! How do you keep seeing straight to me? Unlock successful. Switching the launch pads. The reason why Director Cosmos will talk about why he switched the launch pads is connected to the truth behind the Hat 1 miracle. The sabotage and murder that happened at the Space Center 7 years ago. Director Cosmos, tell us what you're hiding. If you really want to understand the reason I decided to switch the launch pods, we'll have to start with the story of that horrible nightmare from 7 years ago. 7 years ago? You mean the so-called Hat 1 miracle? The launch went smoothly, but once the ship entered outer space, then the troubles began. It was all the handiwork of a certain person in the evil's game. So, Mr. Starbuck's traumatic experience wasn't accidental. Not only that, but before the launch, a very valuable piece of moon rock was stolen. But that wasn't the worst of it. One of my staff members was murdered. Wow, I had no idea such awful events were behind the exciting story of space heroism. All that, in spite of the Space Center having very strict security in those days. All personal effects were examined thoroughly, coming or going. You couldn't even smuggle a feathered or leaf through those checkpoints. So, do you have any clue who was responsible for the sabotage? Yeah, he looks really flustered, doesn't he? At the very least, I know it wasn't someone Blackquill. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what that person is. To put it simply, a spy. A spy? You mean someone who infiltrates a foreign country? Carries out dangerous missions? And always gets the girl? Someone's watching way too many late night movies. Well, I guess we're talking about blowing up a rocket and stealing research material. It's not all that surprising that a spy could be behind it all. The spy. Make no mistake, there's cutthroat rivalry between nations in the space of R&D race. Some try to outdo others by any means possible, even deliberate obstruction. 7 years ago, we got the call before the launch warning of sabotage. The same MO as this time. Yes, and here I saw the perpetrator had been caught, but it looks like they was wrong. Prosecutor Blackquill seems more like a ninja than a spy, don't you think? Aren't ninjas and spies basically the same thing? No, they're not. I heard something interesting about spies. It was, not spies, ninjas. Ninjas back in the day didn't wear black. They actually wore dark blue. So that way they merged themselves in with the color of a night sky. I don't know how true it is, but I heard that. I thought it was very interesting. But there's a very good reason they failed to find the real spy. A massive cover-up by the government. Government officials were too embarrassed to admit that they had allowed such a thing to happen at the hands of a spy. Don't tell me they made the police rush the investigation. They did indeed. And then, to cover up the sabotage, they cleaned up their story. And that was the one miracle, wasn't it? But then, 7 years later, the same MO advanced warning of sabotage. That must have been the director's reason for switching the launch pads. Just like 7 years ago. 7 years ago, the spy gave you advance warning of the plans, just like this time. That was what made you decide to switch the launch pads, wasn't it? That's right. The color knew the facts of the case 7 years ago. Despite it, they covered it up. They knew about the sabotage, the moon rock, the murder, and they said, you don't want things to go like they did 7 years ago, do you? I immediately thought of calling off the launch, but the government wouldn't let me. They don't give in to the desires of terrorists. We must proceed for the country's honor. It was quite a moving speech, actually. Moving? Really? Maybe if you're easily inspired by political talking points. But I knew the truth. We had been warned, which meant the danger was very real. And I knew there was a way to stop the spy. No matter what I did, they would find a way. That's why I switched to launch pods and staged the moving rescue scene. First, I snuck into the center the night before and switched to launch pods. Was that way, the astronauts would go from boarding lounge 1 to the Space Museum. Well then, I put a closed for repair sign at the door to Launchpad 1 and boarding lounge 2. You did that so normal visitors wouldn't enter, right? What else did you do? I enlisted the help of several staff members, including Tadian. But you didn't let Mr. Starbuck in on it. He'd already been through enough, and he's no good at lying to keep a secret. I'm afraid I had no choice but to have him drugged. My plan went well until... Clay's murder, huh? After the culprit made their escape, I switched to Launchpad's back. I did it in such a way that no one would find out. But after all that effort, Tyrion is dead, and the Hat 2 is destroyed. And the Hope Capsule, which have returned to us only recently, was also lost in a blast. My home, the center of the cosmos, my beautiful cosmos space Sentia is done for. Wait, what did he mean by the Hope Capsule was lost in the blast? The Hope Capsule. I thought that the Hope Capsule was found at the crime scene with Mr. Terran, and had just been brought back by the Hope Space Probe with the asteroid samples inside. So what kind of samples are they? What's in them? These samples are scheduled for analysis in the near future. We haven't had the time, since they just came back the day before Tyrion's murder. The capsule was being held in a safe in Launchpad 1. But I gave it to Tyrion before the incident, so it wouldn't be destroyed in the explosion. The idea was that, with the safety in Tyrion's possession, he could make it look like he rescued it during the staged miraculous escape. But our precious research materials ended up lost to the explosion anyway. But I thought Clay was supposed to keep it safe? You misunderstand. The Launchpad explosion wasn't the only capsule that was lost too. It was lost after the police confiscated it as evidence. It was the courtroom bombing from the other day. The capsule was there in the courtroom as evidence, and was blown to smithereens. Yet another casualty of that blast. Ultimately, I think the culprit may have known about the shooting of the launch pods. What? How? The police found a wiretapping device during the investigation today. A bug aboard my battery's ship. A tap on my advanced communication system. A wire on that phone? Yes, a wire on this very phone. I use this phone to give instructions to my staff about the Launchpad's village. Just to the few select members who know about the plan. Just before the incident, staff members were coming in and out of the Launchpad 1. The culprit probably slipped in with them amid the confusion. And planted the bomb then. Yes, if they were tapping your phone, they could definitely pull something like that off. So you really think the same spy is behind the incident and the one 7 years ago? Yes, I am sure of it. Then this spy must be the phantom Prosecutor Blackquill has been chasing. But Prosecutor Blackquill told me once. The hunt I've been on for the Phantom of 7 years ago past continues even still. For starters, that case happened right here at this very space center too. So if we can find this Phantom, that's right, we can clear Athena's name. And then there's the matter of Prosecutor Blackquill too. What about him? Well, if the culprit of 7 years ago is the same person as in the current incident, it would mean Prosecutor Blackquill is innocent. That's still an F though. I wonder how dangerous that guy would be in court without handcuffs. But if we're going to go on a ghost hunt, count me in. Ha 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 ha. It's all over for me. Spin, spin, well, I'm done for. The center of the cosmos is doomed. Do you think he's going to be alright, Daddy? Well, at least he'll be in good company. There must be planets out there he can spin with. Which reminds me, I'd like to delve a little further into that one mission, too. If you want to learn more, start with the Space Museum. There's a Hot One exhibit there. Oh, don't mind me. I'll just keep spinning here and see how the cosmos it votes. It's like he achieved spiritual enlightenment or something. I'm sure he'll stop when he gets dizzy. Let's go visit the Space Museum. Nothing there. At least I got him to stop spinning, right? Ah, something new. Mankind's crowning achievement. The Hot One machine will be in textbooks across the land. Wow, that historic, huh? My achievements are grand enough to reveal the very birth of space itself. My life will be a legend that will be told millions of years into the future. You may proceed to admire and praise me now. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha, you certainly are an amazing piece of work. That seems to be a replicate. Okay, well, we got one new dialogue. Let's go to the Space Museum. December 20th, Cosmos Space Center. Space Museum. Let's see. Where's the exhibit on the launch 7 years ago? There. That's the Hat 1 exhibit. Oh wow, look at that photo of the team. There's Clay, and Mr. Starbuck, Director Cosmos, and Blackquill, and even Punko. But I've never seen the woman on the right before. Yeah, you're right, we haven't. Is she the one that got murdered? Everybody looks so happy, well except for Director Cosmos. He looks happy his own way. Let's check out the newspaper article too. Hat 1 launch imminent. And there's a photo of the the Hope space probe. And there's a sword. Is that Blackquill's? It looks like a katana or ninja blade. I guess it's only natural it doesn't talk about the murder or the sabotage. They really were keeping it a secret just like the director said? Daddy, take a look at that jacket. It must be the Hat 1 team's uniform jacket. Why is it torn like it's been cut? It's the same design as the one Apollo was wearing, the one that belonged to Clay. Actual jacket worn by Hat 1 team member, it says. Not a replica, huh? I wonder if it was Mr. Starbuck's. Hat 1 exhibit added to court record. A newspaper clipping, a photo of the people involved with the launch in a jacket wanted them more. Hello? Hello? Who's calling? Junie! What are you doing here? Oh, Miss Woods, what brings you here? I heard Athena got arrested, so I've been looking for you, Mr. Wright. Thought you might be here at the scene. You must be so worried, but rest assured, I'm going to do my very best to defend her. Athena's gonna go through such a hard time. I hope she doesn't lose heart. Even just coming back to this place must have been really difficult for her. Huh? You mean the Cosmos Space Center? What, you didn't know? She used to live here when she was a little girl. Really? Hold on a second. How old is she? 18. 7 years ago, she would have been 11. She looked smaller. She looked like she was 7 or 8 in that flashback or movie screen at the beginning of the case. She's been arrested as suspect in the case. Oh, that changed. She did? No, I didn't know. No wonder she knew so much. Miss Woods, could you tell me more in detail? Athena Space Center. Athena's mom worked here. If I remember right, she was a doctor of psychology or something like that. Her why was a psychology specialist working at a space research facility. I don't really know. But I do know that she lived and worked here. And so Athena lived here too. So it was far from Athena's first time here. I wonder why she didn't mention it. She probably didn't want to talk about it. This place is connected to a very sad memory for her. Sad memory? A sad memory. Could you tell me more about it? There was a terrible incident here. It was 7 years ago. The same time frame as a Hat 1 launch. Athena's mom, in the robotics lab, she was murdered. What? After it happened, Athena stopped coming to school. Poor Athena. And all this time, she never let in on it at all. I was so worried about her. I came here so many times hoping to see her. But I never saw her again. After a while, we started exchanging letters. But I didn't get to see her face to face for 7 long years. And so the first time you've seen her in 7 years was during Professor Quartz's case. That's right. I was so surprised. She was like a completely different... Oh, I thought that was Athena because Athena's image flashed on screen. She was like a completely different person, so cheerful and happy. Young Athena. What was Athena like as a child? She was very sensitive and kind. She didn't talk very much. She liked to draw and paint at home. That's completely different from the Athena we know now. I can't even picture it. She never left the Space Center much because she was very sensitive to other people's emotions. When she went to crowded places, she'd get dizzy from all the emotions flying around. It must be hard to hear people's hearts as well as their voices. Aw, what a picture. Look at, I mean, that's just... It's a beautiful picture. She always wore these big heavy headphones. She said her mother made them for her as part of her research. Huh. I wonder what kind of research it was. I like her little moon amulet as well. Because of her special ability, Athena couldn't handle being in school very often, and I was always out sick because of my weak constitution. Maybe that's why we became such good friends. We used to play together here at the Space Center a lot. It brings back memories. Sounds like Athena's mother played a big role here at the Space Center. Oh, Daddy! Show her that picture! Atta girl. Good idea. Which picture? This? Miss Woods, could you take a look at this for me? Oh, look, there's Athena's mom. The woman on the far right, the one in the kimono, that's Dr. Meta Sykes. Aha! Athena's mother's murder. Did it by any chance have any connection to the Hat 1 launch? What? Why? Yes, it did. As I recall, it happened on the day before the launch. Just as I suspected. Buzz, that was the worst of it. One of my staff members was murdered. So this is the murder Director Cosmos was talking about. Does that mean that the crime Prosecutor Blackquill was convicted of is the murder of Athena's mother? There's a chance her death is somehow connected to the current case. There is? Thank you for all your help, Miss Woods. And please, try not to worry. I won't let anything happen to Athena. Thank you, Mr. Wright. I know you'll take good care of her. So we need to investigate the robotics lab and also talk to Athena. We've got our plates full, Daddy. Hope we can fit it all in before the day is through. The detention center first, then. We have to see Athena before visiting hours are over. December 20th, Detention Center. Visitor's room. Well, if isn't Mr. Lawyer, fancy meeting you here. Oh, hello, Detective Fulbright. Here on business? To tell the truth, I'm here to interview Ted Tonate. The one behind the courtroom bombing incident? He suddenly said he's ready to tell the truth about that case. And what he was saying was so incredible, I just had to come over to hear more. Incredible? What was he saying? Why don't you hang around and hear for yourself? Really? Us? Are you sure? Ha ha ha, I give you my special permission. Here comes the bomber now. It's been a while, Mr. Tonate. You, what nerve have you to come here? You're here to laugh at me, I suppose. Like I waste my breath on you. Guy's so creepy. After all, you're the one who assaulted Apollo and put him in the hospital. Why does he still have all his gear and stuff? Like, confiscate that from him. Violence, no. Question, okay. No violence? Too bad Apollo didn't get a chance to say that before you attacked him. Fine, then just answer me this, Mr. Tonate. What is this truth of yours about the courtroom you blew up? No, I didn't do it. I didn't blow up the courtroom. When I killed Detective Arm, there was another person in the room. Wait, so he admits that he killed Detective Arm, but there was another person in the room? What? What are you talking about? Who else could have been there? I saw it, I tell you. I saw someone's hand as they were stealing the remote switch. This person was there and witnessed the murder I committed. I don't see anyone. What? I don't know who it was. But that's who blew up the courtroom. You expect us to buy that? Easy there, Trucy. I don't see any psych locks. So I guess he must not be lying. Pardon me, I got a little carried away. But I'm telling you the truth, I did not detonate that bomb. And there you have it. We can't exactly know his claims, of course, so we're doing a follow-up. We're even analyzing the bomb itself for what's left of it. We haven't found any new facts yet, though. Wow, they laid it all out piece by piece. What is that 7K item? That looks weird. Like, that looks really weird. Why would a bomb be colorized like that? Oh, look at all those beautiful little pieces. I wish I could have them. Uh-oh. Looks like his geek switch has been activated. Like, that 7K piece doesn't seem to fit the other pieces. It was found in boarding room 1 in the NA courtroom number 4. Fragments have been analyzed. Phony Fenty bomb added to the court record. Well, I hope you're ready for Prosecutor Blackquill's special brand of questioning. Anything but that. I'm afraid I have to be off now, too. I was about to question Miss Sykes. You're going to see Athena now? That's right. Oh, did you folks come to see her? Sorry for the trouble, but could you come back later? Well, off I go! What bad timing. Looks like we'll have to wait until after questioning is over to see her. And after we came all this way too? Well, I guess it's back to the Space Center. Let's go check out the robotics lab, Daddy. Alright, sounds like a plan. I do. Okay. I'm gonna go here and see what's up here, and then I'll probably stop for the day. Wow, look at that robot. The Judgetron JT02. That thing looks amazing. December 20th, Cosmos Space Center Robotics Lab. So this is a robotics lab, huh? Looks like it's exactly one floor above the boarding lounge. And where people were directed to evacuate via the emergency ladder. This is where Athena's mother was killed 7 years ago. Speaking as someone who works with robots. Ara? Daddy, look, over there. Ooh, look how cool that looks. Oh, hello. So they plan to use this bag to kill the capsule, is that right? Yeah, more or less. Say, why don't we stop talking about the case and have a nice cup of tea instead? Apollo and Ara Blackquill? Wonder what they're talking about. Well, come to spoil our fun. Just when I was enjoying our alone time. Trucy and Mr. Wright. If it's Apollo you want, you can have him. He said he's investigating on his own. And I respect his wishes. We just came to investigate this lab. Well, this is my lab. So you need my possession if you want to do any sipping. Alright, well, I guess in the next video we will talk to Miss Ara Blackquill. We'll try to get to the bottom of this, and surprise, surprise, Apollo is here as well. So what will we find out? I'm interested to see. Thank you all so much for being here. I love you so very much. You guys are the best, the #1 YouTube community on YouTube, and I can't thank you enough for all that you do. Until next time, my dear friends, so long and take care. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to comment on what you saw and what you'd like to see next. I always love to hear your thoughts. But before we go, please remember that you matter, and you are brilliant, and you are loved, and you should always be true to yourself. Never let the world tell you any different. Much love to you from your friendly, feathered, flightless bird.